Hey everyone, and thank you for tuning into our Cut Flower video series. My name is Eryn Bell. I'm with the UT Center of Farm Management and work as a Farm Management Extension Specialist. Today's video is going to focus on financial record keeping. Oftentimes as farmers, record keeping becomes the last thing on our to-do list, which is no surprise because we all have a ton of things to do. So today I just want to focus on the importance of record keeping and a few programs that will hopefully make it easier for you to keep up with. There are two main types of record keeping when it comes to agriculture. There are financial records and production records. Financial records have to do with income and expense transactions that occur on the farm. So think accounts receivable, accounts payable. Financial records will also be used to create key financial statements such as balance sheets, income statements, and cash flow statements. They can also be used to create budgets for the coming years, which is great for projections. On the flip side, you have production records. Now, these have to do with quantities of input items and different production measures. So for us as cut flower farmers, that could be labor, plant variety selection, production system utilized. Are you using greenhouses, hoop houses? Do you use raised beds? So think through those things. It's also going to have to do with crop yields, fertilizer and seeding rates, and planting and harvesting dates. Production records, just kind of an easier way to think about it. It's more about the hands-on mechanical side of your farm. Now, I always like to list both because they are both equally important. You really can't have a healthy one without the other. So I just like to list both of these. However, today I will be focusing specifically on financial record keeping. So why is it important to keep up with financial records? Why is it worth the time spent? So one of the most important reasons is that it will help you know the true cost of production and establish your break-even price. Why is that important for us? Well, in most other industries, overcharging is normal. It's kind of the gut thing to do. Well, when it comes to agriculture and farming, we typically do the opposite. We undercharge and we undervalue our products. So keeping up with your break-even price and knowing how much you have in that product is going to help you value your product appropriately and hopefully get those profit margins that you're shooting for. So keeping up with records also helps us determine the profitability of each different item produced on the farm. It's going to help you know the availability of your cash for loan payments or living costs. It also provides a base for us to create accurate budgets and financial statements, which in turn can help us qualify for loans and grants through different institutions like TDA, NRCS, FSA, Farm Credit, and others. It's also going to help you create accurate tax reports, and it's going to help you know what decision you need to make when it comes to the expansion or the reduction of your business. So really, to summarize the benefits of financial record keeping is it specifically gives you the information you need to make the best decision possible for your operation. So I'm going to walk you through 3 financial record keeping systems that we find very useful, cost-effective, and fairly easy to learn. The first one I want to show you all is Quicken. This is an online computer software program that is designed for personal finances. So one of my favorite things about it is that it's formatted like a checkbook register, making it fairly easy to learn and use. It can work well with most farming operations because it has a lot of flexibility there, and it has some really awesome built-in reports. This keeps you from manually having to do these. So, with just a few clicks, it can provide you with key financial statements like your cash flow, your balance sheet, and your income statements. All you got to do is make sure that you have the information in there and you plug in the dates that you want to see that for. It can also create tax reports for you, including your Schedule F, which is fantastic. It's got great organizing capabilities, allowing you to create and use many different account types. So keep in mind, you're not just limited to one account type in there. If you want to put your personal checkbook in there, as well as your farm checking account in there, you can. You can also add as many savings accounts or credits in there as well. So keep in mind, you don't just have to do, one farm checking account in there. You can add all of them in there if you want to. You can also create your own custom categories For example, if you want to create a category for each line item on your Schedule F, you could do that. It also allows you to create what are called tags, which is great for enterprise separation. For example, let's say you sell fresh vegetables and cut flowers, but you want to separate the two so that you can analyze them apart from one another. Quicken allows you to do that, which is a wonderful feature. So with Quicken, if you like to keep things simple and you like things that work, I would highly suggest it, as it is one of my favorites. All right, the next one I want to introduce you all to is QuickBooks. Now, QuickBooks is designed more like a true accounting program for small business platforms. You can almost take Quicken, add a lot more other features, a lot more advanced features, and you've got QuickBooks. So the basic features within QuickBooks includes invoice creation and sending. You can track income and expenses. You can also expense and track receipts. You can generate tax reports and financial statements, and you can also utilize their sales tax calculation feature if you have items that require sales tax. I'm not going to go through each of the different plans that I've got listed out on the right, but with QuickBooks, you can keep it as simple as you want or make it as advanced as you want, all the way up to payroll and 401k tracking. So really, which plan you go with just depends on what features your business specifically needs. And kind of keep in mind, if you feel like you're going to grow into one of these different plans, go ahead and start with QuickBooks so that you get familiar with it. That way you're not having to switch programs in a few years. It's nice just to go ahead and have your in with QuickBooks. The last one I want to talk about is Excel. So this is a Microsoft Office app, but you can also access it through Google if you have a Gmail account. I personally love Excel, but it definitely has its pros and cons. So on the pro side, it allows for custom spreadsheet design. You can make your own calculations and reports and tailor them to your specific needs as closely as you need to. So you kind of hold the power there as far as what equations you want it to do. You can also create great charts and graphs, as well as financial and production reports. It is known by most computer users, so you can easily share it with others like your accountant or partners within the business or farm. One of my favorite features with it is that you can use it on your phone out in the field if you need to. So you can do this via the Excel app or Google Sheets. So, if you're on the go, you're not always near your computer. If you're like me and you have a hard time remembering things, you can just go ahead and plug it into your phone while you're standing there. That way you're not having to wait until you get home and possibly forget. The only downside to this is that you have to know how to program Excel to get it to do what you're asking. With Quicken and QuickBooks, it's already built in. The codes and equations are already there. All you have to do is plug in the numbers. Excel isn't that way. You're going to have to know how to put in the equations, how to put in the coding to get those values and those reports that you're wanting. I don't want that to scare you away, though. YouTube has a ton of great videos on how to learn Excel, and a lot of people just kind of learn over time with it. So don't feel like you have to know everything if you want to start with Excel. A few closing notes when it comes to record keeping, my little list of musts. First, make sure you create a separate checking account for your farm's expenses and incomes. This makes it so much easier to keep up with those incomes and expenses separate from your living costs. It makes it difficult when you have all your living costs and all of your farm costs within the same checking account. It can be hard to discern which is which. Second, find a record keeping system that works for you. Quicken, QuickBooks, and Excel, they're all great, but they're not the only ones out there. So make sure to do your research and find what works for your operation best. Third, make sure to designate a time you work on record keeping and stick to it. If you're like me, I will put off sitting down and keeping up with my records for the week, and the next thing I know, I'm 6 months behind. So my suggestion is, even if it's just 30 minutes a week, you will be amazed as to how much you can keep up with in that 30 minutes. Lastly, find an experienced CPA or tax preparer. As a farmer, many a times we can try to do it all, be it all, wear all the hats. We don't have to. So even if you have a CPA that you can just call and ask a question to, just make sure to have that resource. Lastly, I did want to let you know that the UT Center of Farm Management has a farm management specialist in each area within the state of Tennessee. So please don't hesitate to utilize us. You can go to our website at farmmanagement.tennessee.edu to find a contact for the specialist in your specific area. So we do focus on financial management, and one of our areas we cover is record keeping. We can help you not only choose a system that works best for you, but then also help you get it set up and get you comfortable with it as well. Besides one-on-one financial evaluations and farm visits, we also offer several programs across the state. If you want to learn more on record keeping, I would suggest our Master Farm Manager class or our Farming Fundamentals. So the difference between the two is Master Farm Manager focuses on in-depth business foundations for farms that are more established. Whereas Farming Fundamentals, that's going to focus on helping those who are just in the beginning stages of their operation, but both are phenomenal programs. Again, thank you for tuning in. I hope you found this segment helpful. Remember, there's one of us in each part of the state, and we hope to hear from you.